Hello, everybody. My name's Steve Turner. As she said, I'm one of the business development managers here. And Milesight's a new product for us. We wanted to introduce it to you more formally than just hanging it on the website. So I have a presentation to go through. It's quite extensive, but I wanted to, we're going to cover the slides pretty quickly. It's kind of a general overview of product suite and everything like that. As she said, Sky's on the panel with us. He's one of the engineers. He'll handle any technical questions that come up. And Mandy's going to join us also. She's in the sales department over there, but she's having trouble connecting right now. But we'll get started. General agenda is going to be kind of an overview of Milesight as a company, the products and key selling points, why Milesight, what are the takeaways for you in terms of what the product brings to the marketplace and where it fits. And then there's some tools at the very end, but it's not a very long part of the presentation. So we'll get going on the profile part. So Milesight came to us by way of two other relationships we already had with Yaystar and Yaylink. They're a part of this overall group of companies. Yaystar is a PBX manufacturer, interestingly enough. And then many of you probably heard about Yaylink. Yaylink and Yaystar are not the same company, but they have an ownership group that has some commonality. And so they're sort of indirectly related in terms of, but not fiduciarily related. So the Yaystar group is directly a part of a group of overall Milesight. And they have sort of three arms, if you see here. Yaystar, the PBX, Milesight technology, which would be the cameras and things like that. And then Milesight IoT, which is part of their artificial intelligence IoT group that does a lot of the development on that side. They're big in the cellular routers and LoRaWAN gateway market with sensors and things like that, which we don't currently carry, but they are a part of the overall management group of the solution company at large. We also have a partner in Australia and New Zealand who's brought on Milesight, the camera line, and has done quite well with it. So we had a high confidence ratio to bring this on as a part of Streakwave's offering to you guys. We're getting a lot of questions about cameras and surveillance equipment, given the current marketplace condition and lack of availability of other brands that we carry. So we wanted to bring them on. See here, they founded in 2011. They're an AIoT provider, 700 plus employees, lots of distribution partners, lots of global reach, and a very large $60 million revenue stream. So these guys are not small potatoes in the marketplace at all. From a technology standpoint, they do the design, development, manufacture of these devices. Cornerstones are superior image quality, flexibility, and reliability in the market. And I'd like to show your attention to the three bottom points on the right-hand side of the slide. 50% of their overall staff works in R&D and development. So that's a big number to producing products. Also, they reinvest over 15% of their overall budget that they earnings into R&D and further product development. And then probably one of the best stories is a less than 1% defect rate of devices leaving the market or leaving the factory. So high degree of confidence. These are quality devices. I actually installed 3 of these cameras myself and run an Nvr here, and I'm quite pleased with the product quality. Everything's nice, very well engineered, very well built, and you'll see it's got some design components that make them very easy to install and reduce installation handling. So let's get on to the products. The product lineup. I want to also state that Streakwave made a decision for the U.S. market to carry the NDAA compliant devices, i.e., nothing that has backdoor chipsets in it or known backdoor chipsets in it and things like that. These are all certified NDAA compliant products. We can get any of the products Milesight sells that you may want to order, but what we typically, or what the only thing on our shelf as for immediate delivery right now are the NDAA compliant devices. But the 3 main categories of their series, Mini Series, Pro Series, and Panoramic Series, are the bulk of what's on the shelf with us right now. So these are 4K devices, H.265 for lighter transport loads. All of them are PoE. It's a really nice brand of cameras, and an end-to-end solution from that you'll see when we go along here. The Nvr cameras, additional lighting, accessory mounting hardware, accessory lighting hardware, and things like that. So you'll see all that coming up. So the mini series is very not covert necessarily, but tiny form factors that lend itself to, as you see here at the museum, not a lot of intrusive camera looking devices on the walls and things like that. So this is the mini series. This one is exciting. This is a bullet or a box kind of camera, bullet camera, but look at it, it's the size of a cell phone in terms of height. So these things are quite small. 4K imaging, as I said, ultra low light, high WDS, and they're all indoor outdoor. So all IP67 and IK10 rated devices. So these are excellent devices. And they come in a wide variety of form factors, from domes to mini domes to, as I said, bullet cameras and things like that. So their IR on these things is actually quite good. I've experienced that here myself. I have this camera, in fact, installed here. Excellent image quality and excellent IR throw with great image clarity at night. So it's a really good device. Whoops. So they have, as I said, mini domes, motorized domes for flexible image depth quality, and the bullets and the mini bullet cameras overall. Also, they've got a LPR line that we're going to show you as well on here. They have a lot of case studies on their website. We're going to be adding these to our website too, but these are railway and health, as well as other, you'll see a lot of these cameras in education and other industrial applications as well coming up. They also have a Pro line. These are cameras are a little larger, not the mini form factors, but more traditional surveillance camera size devices. They have high frame rates on these, 90 frames per second are available. IR distances up to 180 meters, depending on how you configure the device. All the input and output on the alarming and things like that you're accustomed to in surveillance equipment. And also some rich functionality with the AI that you'll see coming up here as well on the slide presentation. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. So one of the feature products here, you'll notice this design on the mounting hardware. This is one of the things I was talking about in terms of ease of installation. It's very difficult to put this camera up in its full body, get a mounting hardware on the surface of where you're going to mount it, and then have the camera up there with one hand trying to screw it down with the other. This allows the camera and plate to be disjointed from the actual mounting plate. You'll see in the bottom picture here, so that when you can hang this and pull your wire through, and then you're bringing the camera body up with with a hinged hanger, then you can hang it and then just simply close it over and then attach the 4 screws for the final mounting. So it really allows for somebody on a ladder or a lift to be very safe and have a quick and easy installation. I think that's an excellent design, and they also have similar designs on the mounting plates for the dome cameras and the mini dome cameras as well. So that's a great feature, I think, when you buy the back box or the mounting box for the junction box for these bullet cameras. It's really makes installation quite easy. There's a video here, but we're going to skip that because it won't play in the webinar format. So here's a sort of an overview of the different model types or form factor types that are in this Pro line. Gives you lots of different sensor quality in terms of 2, 5, and 8 megapixel. Streakwave made the decision Generally speaking, we're going to carry the medium and higher end megapixel cameras. So typically you'll see 5 and 8 megapixel cameras on our shelf. 2 megapixels are available. We just need to get them in, and that's quick. We airship in from Milesight, so we get those in quite quickly. So usually 2 weeks or so to get those in from them when we need to order those in. But generally, they have kind of a good, better, best philosophy in terms of camera brand. So we typically stayed in the mid to or good, better and best category in terms of what we stocked on the shelf. Figuring most of you guys are going to look for something greater than 2 megapixels and higher as a general rule in terms of what's being deployed in the market today. So industrial, a large solar array, heavy dust environment, these cameras perform well there. And then also in high volume retail, there's a gas plant or gas station listing here as far as one of the what am I calling it? Case studies. Sorry. These cameras are also deployed a lot education, museums, and retail environments and shopping malls, things like that. So excellent image quality, people following, things like that is all part of this lineup in terms of the AI that's built into these. Also, high-rise residential in Turkey is on the list of case studies as well. So they have a good lineup of Ptc cameras from 5 to 42 optical zoom. These cameras do quite well in terms of changing positions. They're quite fast, so it's not a slow sweeping kind of a thing. If you want to move position 1 to 2, some of these things are sub 2 seconds moving across there. So it's quite nicely designed, and the mounting hardware on these is also quite well built. So these are also 90 frames a second, have auto tracking, the choice of white LED for the bullets. Also, some of the cameras will come equipped with wipers for the screen or for the lens covers. That's a nice feature in weather-related situations where you need clarity in your camera lens and you can't get it because it's raining or it's been, had some moisture on the lens. So that's a really cool feature on these. 450 degrees per second in terms of pan and 300 degrees per second in terms of tilt. That's what I was talking about in terms of the speed of actuation to get from point A to point B, or view A to view B, if you will. It's a really well built, well designed camera series in terms of the Ptc series. So they got white LEDs. That's they have an interesting. I've never seen this before, but the white LED will blink when an alarm intrusion happens. So if somebody's in an area they were not supposed to be in after a particular time, this camera will actually alert via visual signal that the person's being watched, and that's pretty interesting in terms of alerting and then potentially scaring away any intruders that might be entering an area they shouldn't be in. This zoom rate here on 12 optical zoom is really good. This camera's on top of the building here, and you'll see lots of links here. We can send out a link list to you if you request it. You can send an email to me, and I can get you, YouTube links that change the, sort of small. They've done a great job creating small content YouTube videos that show different aspects of the cameras. So there's vehicle tracking down here, which shows the camera sweeping along with the car as it's moving along. And then they have some mounting hardware that also allows it to be on wall, in wall, or in ceiling, nearly in ceiling, or on a pedestal mount. So there's lots of mounting options for these dome cameras as well. So here's the overview of the line as a whole in terms of body styles and mounting hardware. The Ptc cameras come in 2 flavors, generally 2 and 8 megapixel. So not a 5 megapixel option in this group, but and you'll see we will carry some of the 2 megapixel options on this in our stocking arrangement right now. Airports are big on PTZ cameras, so there's a case study on that. In New Guinea, again, education, tourism, safe city type arrangements on light poles and things to watch traffic and high density crowd areas, things like that. And then they have a great panoramic series with 180 panoramic or 360 degree hemispheric views. I have one of these as well, and the dewarping on this is really, really good. It's dewarped at the camera or on the NVR, depending on which way you want to do it. And also some advanced things that come in a heat map, auto tracking, and crowd management solutions that are involved in the AI part of this lineup. So there's domes, bullets, and ceiling mount dish type, flat dish type hemispheric cameras on these. In terms of model form factors, the IR on the dome camera has an anti-reflective panel inside, so the IR light doesn't impede the visibility when you're looking at the image that it's throwing the light on. So it's really a well-designed situation on that. Here's some dewarped images, so you can kind of get a feel for the quality of the images that you get in the dewarping. So really good clarity, not a lot of edge blur on this. So really well done in terms of dewarping views on these. A lot of case studies on the hemispheric and panoramic views within the Milesight website. So have a look at those if you wish. So the Lpr Camera Series, you'll see they have lots of body styles here on the image. They can do up to 4-lane traffic monitoring with a single camera. So there's a 4-region maximum on any one camera. White light throw, IR throw, and 3D radar. So interesting mix of products here for vehicle plate recognition. Whoops, went one too far. So they have a 95% collection rate on camera license plate recognition. That speeds up to 200 kilometers an hour. It also does, as I said, 4 detection regions, black and white list management. It also has a LPR smart search. So if you're looking for a plate number that went through an image, you can search that by plate number. It makes it a lot easier than combing through all that that video surveillance footage to find the car you're looking for. They also do some interesting additional AI-based LPR functions, plate recognition in terms of like state or country recognition. They can do vehicle type classification. I think it's up to 16, so they can recognize fire engines, ambulances, SUVs, cars, big trucks, delivery trucks, things like that. Even forklifts and other machinery like dozers and things like that. It's pretty interesting. Also vehicle color recognition, so it can tell you the color of the car. And then with the radar integration, you get speed and direction detection and traffic flow detection. So if you find, let's say, think of a city watching, a road and then a car driving the wrong way into head-on traffic, it can actually make an alert based on that car should not be traveling in that direction on that side of the street. All those things are now possible with this. And again, both IR or white LED options on the illumination options on this. All this is integrated with their NVR, their CMS and VMS, along with Milesight integration partners. So you'll see the applications on this at the bottom here. Oh, sorry. Got a little finger happy with the maneuvering there. Highway, urban streets, gate control, parking lots is becoming a big player in the marketplace as well. So handles all of these solution sets. So just some images. High frame rates on the LPR cameras, up to 120 frames per second, so you can decrease motion blur, get a good clear picture of the car you're looking for. High density areas, you can pick up the car plates. They can highlight those. Again, they will put these in a list, and if there's black and white lists on there, you can it will throw errors on blacklist car plates and things like that. So really a good design in terms of the software handling of how it finds these things. Also, this is you may not even need, depending on the level of ambient light in your parking structure or the venue that you're putting this at, but it all the way down to 0.001 lux in terms of the Starlight Sensor on these cameras. So high, very good low light sensitivity to capture these images. Also WDR to filter out noise and background light. It has high light contrast and backlight contrast compensation built into the situation as well. So you can customize your view based on your lighting conditions where you're putting the camera. So a lot of flexibility here in terms of where it's mounted and what view you're going to get and how you can optimize that once it's installed. De-blur, defog, and P-iris. So gives you depth of field view with the P-iris turned on. Defog the camera. I believe it uses a heat sink to bring the camera temperature up to take away any fogging on the lens, and then de-blurs a high shutter speed that allows for that to be very clear and crisp, no matter the speed of the device you're trying to capture. So again, these are plug and play together with the Milesight equipped or Milesight Nvrs. The Milesight also has software-based solutions for this. As I mentioned earlier, CMS and VMS options are available. 265 transport, which is great to lighten the load on the network. You can crop out images and make multiple images out of one. In terms of like your panoramic cameras, you can have different views with localized pullouts, which is a really nice feature. Many of the cameras also have a SIP client in them, so it could make a phone call on an alert to you and then provide the stream to your cell phone directly or security management directly, which is a nice feature as well. So here's what I was talking about in terms of the VCA functionality. So this has region entering and exiting. So if you're in an airport and say a TSA counter, people only go one way through that scene, you can show the region entrance area and region exit area, and when people move in a direction contrary to that flow, that can be an alert for you. Obviously, object left or removed is a good thing for airports and other bus terminals, railway stations, things like that. Loitering is an interesting situation. So if you have a business or retail shop or something and you're watching the camera and somebody's milling around outside at an hour they shouldn't be, just hanging around, that can be an alert if they loiter particular, and you have obviously control over how long they're in that view and when to turn the alarm on and off. Line crossing, tamper detection, advanced motion detection, so it can tell if you're moving right to left, left to right, front to back, moving towards the camera, away from the camera. All those things are possible with the VCA functionality and part of the AI algorithms that are built in. It also detects humans and vehicles, so it can determine if something's a vehicle or a human, not just based on regular motion, but advanced AI analytics to look at structure of the item moving in the image versus pets, insects, birds, and things like that. So severely lowers your false alarm rate on motion detection. Also, it takes out all the, if you're having an outdoor view and trees are moving and things like that, the human vehicle detection really cuts down on the false alarms for, flags and wind-blown trees and bushes and things like that. So really makes a big difference in terms of what you actually record in terms of relevant images, as opposed to all the false alarms you get without that sort of filtering in place. So we have fixed lens models, motorized lens models, and sort of the PTZ, all with low and high beam IR throws. So that IR performance on this has been, like I said, really good. The clarity of the images here on the devices I have, really impressive at night. And of course, the color clarity during the day at a 4K is awesome as well. So really good image quality overall. So we have a hardware-based solution for you. Currently, Streakwave carries the 5000 series NVRs. Both currently are 16 channels. Those are currently what is available from Milesight that has NDAA certification. The difference here is one is a typical NVR and one is a PoE NVR, or think of it as an embedded switch, providing PoE to the devices. So if you want to wire everything back to one central location and you want to provide PoE, say maybe separate from your rest of your IP network, you can do that with a PoE NVR. Or if you just need to add PoE ports into your network, you can do it with PoE NVR. And then, of course, the non-PoE version. So, but software-wise, VMS, video management system, is for, I would say, medium to large installs. This would be your sort of central management situation with many cameras presented on multiple monitors, like a monitoring station, security station type situation. The CMS I found very useful in managing the cameras, the setups, how they're provisioned on what settings. It has some bulk provisioning availability in there. So if you want all of a particular model to have the same settings, you can do that. Milesight Pro is a iOS and Android app, so it can be on your smartphone, tablets, etc. And then Smart Tools does some things with finding devices in the network and then getting them ready to be assigned to the network NVRs and things like that. From a management perspective, makes it easy to find the devices when they're placed in the network and turned on. So here's a quick image of the NVRs that we carry. We're going to soon to have an 8-channel also, so don't fret that the 16-channel is too big. If you're putting in a smaller install, we'll have an 8-channel device here probably next month or early December. That'll be available. That'll also be NDAA compliant. Ultra HD video display, 4K resolution. You get multiple formats, including custom layouts. So you can design this how you want it to present on the video screen, however you want. That's also true in the CMS, on the NVR and the CMS and the VMS. You get custom control of the layouts, or you can have it auto layout and it'll just cycle through the cameras on say the VMS or CMS. Cycle through those to give you the, if you wanted to see 9 images at a time and it's a 16 NVR, you'll see 9, then 7, then it'll scroll through those as you wish. But you get complete control over all that. Very typical of most NVRs. It can also pop up a camera that experiences an alarm. So you see, like, it has here, you can make it also circle the image in red or other color to show you that there's an alarm going off on that camera, or something in that view has triggered an alarm. You can have smart search, so you can actually take a portion of the video screen and say something happened on the, so sort of left-hand side of the screen here. I don't have to search through miles and miles of NVR recorded video. It can detect that you're really only looking for something in that region, and it'll only show you the playback where something had a motion trigger or something in that side of the video. Heat mapping is available on on the smart analytics. So if you are watching a retail store and a heat mapping is something that you want to provide your retailer, where do people spend the most time when they're in the image? What are they looking at? What displays are they next to? That's a really good feature for a retail shopping mall type environment. What stores are they visiting? What hallways are used the most in terms of traffic, human movement trafficking? Even in something like bus stations, train stations, and airports, where do people congregate? Where do they, how do they move through the space? Could give you some insight into, security situations there. The alarm settings are completely customizable. Where they get alarmed to, whether it's email, an HTTP push notification, as I mentioned earlier, even a SIP call, all those things are available within this solution set. The LPR, ANPR management, traffic flow management, preview of license plates, all of those things are completely customizable in the solution as well. So it's part of why we took Milesight on, is that they really have a well-designed, totally integrated endpoint to NVR to software package that allows you to build the system that you need and then be able to grow into a system that maybe that would expand later on. So we really have not had a set of cameras or a suite of cameras and surveillance equipment that had that complete end-to-end solution set, and that's kind of one of the also big reasons why we chose this brand. There is some POS integration available retail, so if you want a cashier overlay of the tickets for anti-theft or things like that, that's available. Excuse me. So your tools, as I said, the Milesight tools allow you to batch find and batch manage Milesight cameras and NVRs in a network. The Milesight Pro is the mobile app. Then you have CMS for overall management of systems and cameras, NVRs, locations. VMS is a more powerful, more intelligent, as I said, more your medium to large deployment solution set or software set. And then VMS Mobile integrates to the VMS to give you handy mobile applications to integrate to the VMS platform. We pretty much covered this. Sorry. Also, there's some e-mapping. So if you wanted to put a map or a map of the city or a map of building design, floor plan, things like that, and then you can overlay your camera locations on there. It has all the system logs, settings, smart analytics, playback, and everything is in the software. So there's multiple connection methodologies, by the way, within the Network Camera Series through DDNS, point-to-point, ONVIF. That's another thing I didn't need to bring up. All the Milesight cameras are ONVIF compliant, so they can be added to other systems that will accept ONVIF compliant devices. And conversely, if you have a Milesight installation or you're going to go in somewhere with a Milesight installation, the customer has a couple of cameras they like or that were recently purchased, and you need to sort of drag those into the overall solution, the NVR, VMS, and CMS platforms can handle ONVIF compliant devices integrated in there. So gives you a nice fit to keep some of the customer's infrastructure if they want to, and then bring in the Milesight solution, or add Milesight cameras to an existing solution that they're already comfortable with or like very much. So VMS really is a very powerful tool. I haven't played with this a lot. I don't really have a situation here that lends itself to that, but it's an N plus M failover, up to 25 total servers, 256 devices per server. Again, all of the artificial intelligence and VCA analytics built in. video walls can be built pretty much however you want to. Also the ability to encrypt video files for transport, so you're not exposing those video files while they're in transport from, say, multiple locations to a VMS system. It's really, really well designed. It gives you a lot of powerful tools in the architecture overall. 2,000 channels per overall system, as I said, 25 servers, EXE format exports, mapping, smart search and locking files. You can have multiple users and give them their security sort of class of service. There's a designation for users on the system, people counting, LPR systems, and facial recognition are coming soon into the VMS platform. License plate recognition is already there. You can create event rules and all the object left, region entrance, region exit, VCA functionality we covered a little bit earlier, including human and vehicle detection for motion sensitive areas to reduce the false alarms are all built into this system already. And this is a system they're building on, as we speak. So we had a webinar yesterday showing some people counting things that were really interesting. So crowd management solutions are coming soon to the VMS platform. So where does Milesight fit in terms of, their view of where they fit in the marketplace? So if you consider Axis and Bosch, Vigilon and Hanwha as to be the, upper industry, large deployment, large scale players in the marketplace, and then some of the more consumer levers, Hikvision, Daiwa, UNV, and others to be in that small to medium sized space, Milesight tries to sit right in the middle. And right in the middle means a lot of things, right? Right in the middle in terms of a lot of function and feature set for your purchase price, but also your purchase price is also in that middle range as well. So you'll get a lot of value for the functionality you get. And one thing I'll also mention here is that all the Milesight cameras, Nvrs, with the exception, I think, of Ptc cameras and one other piece of hardware, carry a 3-year warranty. So they believe in their product and stand behind it quite well. Ptc cameras, they have some switches and things like that that carry a 2-year warranty. So they're by no means throwaway devices, obviously, but the movement of the motorized functions and stuff in there can't allow for a little bit longer warranty. So, but most of the cameras that you'll buy and install will have a 3-year full Milesight warranty. So they sit in the marketplace in this level, and I think that provides, again, like I said, a lot of actual value to you as a reseller, and a lot of actual value to your customer installations. Here's some of the design talks that we talked about. The mounting plates on the domes allow you to put the plate up and then just twist on the camera. And then there's a locking set screw. Ingenious design on the junction boxes, in my opinion. It just really makes installation easier, less dangerous, and probably quite a bit faster. Compatibility with other OnVIF. Again, here's their OnVIF compatibility. All the Milesight cameras are GQ, S, and T profile compatible. And there's some Nvr VMS systems that you have seen in the marketplace: Nuo, Milestone, Genetec, Video Insight, all the, a lot of the major players, Synology. They are integration with those cameras directly, so you wouldn't even need OnVIF. And then, so those are the fully integrated with security inherent or innately embedded with those devices. So you have an opportunity to sell Milesight cameras into other installations where you have these systems in place. So for support, Milesight will do that with you. Your tickets would go into their ticket system, and then urgent contacts, Sky, who's on the call with us, would be somebody you could reach out to directly on general support tickets. I've used them. Sky's been really helpful and a number of their engineers have been really helpful. Wanted to bring this up. This is a naming convention, so it kind of gives you insight into when you're looking at Milesight cameras, what each letter or number designates when you're looking at the cameras. So if you're looking for a particular camera, for example, a Pro Bullet is a 66, so it'd be a 2 megapixel bullet would be 2, 4K would be 2.1, and then 66 would be your model number. So it makes it a lot easier for you to find cameras on my site to fill what you're trying to do, if that's of use to you. We also hung this particular slide on our resources tab under the Milesight brand. So if you need to reference this or want to look through this, it's hanging on my website under the manufacturer resources tab for Milesight. Accessories, they've got it all covered. This slide is also on my website. So if you need to get mounting options for a particular model you've selected, this graphic, while busy, allows you to sort of follow the line down to whatever mounting hardware or backplate, junction box, pendant mount, whatever you need to get. And we have a good supply of mounting hardware on the shelf as well. So that pretty much covers what we were going to cover on the webinar overall. Angela, if we had a bunch of questions or anything, or if you guys have questions, now's the time to slide those into the question and answer format. We'd be happy. Sky, you can go off mute and help us out here as needed.
Thanks, Steve. Actually, we have had questions throughout the presentation, and Sky and I were able to go ahead and reply back to those questions. So thank you for all those questions. The last question that I do have here that we haven't yet answered, are there any phone support?
Is there phone support, meaning like call into a support number?
Yes.
Sky, you want to take that?
Hello. Hi.
Yes, go ahead, Sky.
Yeah, I think currently we recommended to you to create a ticket to our ticket system. So if you have any question, if you want phone support, I think you can contact our sales team and the support team directly.
So Sky, I'll also say that I had some personal experience with that, and we to give a little bit broader answer, start your tickets and your questioning on the ticket system. If your situation grows or escalates to warrant a conversation, we ended up scheduling a time for Joe, another engineer, and I to get on a joint like team viewer type situation. We did have a conversation there. We were able to communicate and have a troubleshooting session more or less live. So I would say begin your ticket inquiry on the ticket system, and then we can grow it from there if a joint session is necessary or live troubleshooting session becomes necessary. That's typically done via an appointment. There's a large time difference, obviously, between China and the US, so we have to take some of that into account.
Great. Let's continue on. There are still questions coming through, so since it's Q&A, we can go ahead and ask them. Are a majority of the camera Wi-Fi enabled or just over the Ethernet?
Majority. Go ahead, Sky.
Yeah. Currently our camera only support to connect to the network by the Ethernet, and then of course we also have our 5G cameras.
Yeah, so they do make a 5G LTE camera brand, but they don't currently have a Wi-Fi solution. In terms of the camera hanging out and just connecting via Wi-Fi by itself. Streakwave has some some products that we might be able to give you, where you put a Wi-Fi connectorized Wi-Fi AP with an auxiliary port to handle that solution, so we could try to do it that way, but it doesn't currently have a camera with Wi-Fi transport embedded.
Great. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. What is the licensing model for the AI LPR side of the software?
So the LPR software, as I understand it, and I may be wrong, and Mandy, you can jump in, or Sky, the AI part of that is built into the camera as a feature. Is there a license component, Sky, for the LPR, general LPR?
For the LPR camera, the LPR algorithm is also embedded in the camera side. So if you build the LPR camera, so you can use the LPR function. It's also embedded in the front end.
Okay, so there's no licensing component to make that work other than buying the correct camera for the LPR.
So if you buy the LPR, there's no additional cost you need to pay.
Got it.
All right. So the next question here, are these products actually designed and built by Milesight? If not, by whom and where are they manufactured?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Hi, Angela. Yes, all the technology are designed and produced by my side. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Do the 5G LTE cameras support CBRS or band 48?
Currently, all 5G cameras still doesn't support GPS.
No, he said CBRS, not GPS. CBRS is a channel control, Wi-Fi channel control introduced here.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So our camera still doesn't support this function.
Yeah, the CBRS is not a part of the Wi-Fi camera, or not Wi-Fi, sorry, LTE camera solution set at this time.
All right, and then here we have, what about the other AI functionality counts?
Sorry, Angela, the other AI functionality, what?
Counts? Any information on that?
Accounts, you said?
No, just counts, COUNTS.
Oh, all of the AI region, entrance, exit, object left, and all that is embedded features in the camera. In the solution at large, there's no licensing for that. People counting and some other things that are coming later may or may not have additional sensors that may need to be involved with that. So, but there's no licensing. What the camera is advertised with the VCA functionality that we showed is all embedded.
Right. Are the PTC cameras powered by PoE, or do they require additional power?
That's a good question.
Yeah, for our Ptc camera, it's also supposed to power by PoE.
Does it need 60 watt or anything special, Sky, or just ATA or AT power?
AT power.
AT power. Okay.
Right. Is the
I
pricing?
will, Angela, hang on a minute. I will add, the cameras that I got had a dedicated additional power line. So if you wanted to have, say, a camera powered by PoE and then backed up via hard power, that's available, or vice versa. If you wanted to power it, say, on a light pole with the power from the pole, and then if it lost power, to be able to get it from PoE, that's available. So I'm sure the PTZ cameras, Sky, they have either way, correct? Can be PoE or can be direct.
Yeah, both ways support PoE
So
or
Yeah, both choices are supported, but PoE is only necessary if you want to run it on completely on PoE. Go ahead, Angela.
No problem. Is the pricing model a one-time purchase price, or is there a yearly support contract that must be purchased?
No, the cameras are purchased outright, the Nvrs outright. The thing that might have an ongoing cost would be your VMS license. So if you went the VMS route, that's a sort of per channel model in terms of how many channels you want on that VMS system at any time, and that's an annual renewal on that.
Great.
But there's no support contract designation or license fees.
Okay. What are the limitations of the mini non-pro cameras?
I guess I don't understand the question. If they want to call me or send me an email directly, like a comparison, we can pull the data sheet up and show the capabilities and measure it against what they're looking at. Would probably be easier. That the question's hard to answer in this format.
Okay. All right, I think that's pretty much it. So I hope we covered majority of your questions. I did, for some of you, send over Steve Turner's email address to contact him directly on some information. So please don't hesitate to reach out to him. I don't have anything further. Steve, you want to wrap up?
Let me just give you guys verbally my email address. It's pretty simple. It's steve.turner, Turner, at streakwave.com. So if you have additional questions or something that requires more discussion or project and camera recommendation type things, be glad to do that. Angela, you can put my email address on the chat if you want.
Yes, I just did that as well. Thank you.
Perfect. So if you guys want to reach out to me, I'll be the product manager for it. If you have sales reps within Streakwave already that you're attached to, your account managers and so forth, you can reach out to me through them, or we can circle them in when we're having those talks. But happy to help wherever I can.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Sky and Mandy, and for everyone that attended today. Be on the lookout for more Milesight webinars in the near future, mailers, campaigns, and you will find this video recording in our YouTube channel as well as on our manufacturer page for Milesight. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Appreciate everybody joining. Thanks.